Hey guys, Hades here. This is Random 4B. This is where I stopped at Random 4A. Now we're going to continue on with Random 4B. I divide these up because maybe they're designed to last an hour with a live class, right? I ask questions and then they answer, so it takes longer. Here it'll maybe be 30 minutes, both of them together, maybe 35 or 40. Well, it's usually between 30 and 40 minutes when I do them here. Okay, let's jump into some trivia. Who cut Van Gogh's ear off? Also, really quickly, I recommend, if you want to play along, to pause the video and look it up. Or shout out to your screen and guess. What does a male praying mantis do after impregnating a female? Which planet is closest to the sun? That would be in our solar system. Which is the smallest ocean and which is the largest ocean? Who painted the Sistine Chapel? Where did we get the name of the month of July? Vincent van Gogh, cut his own ear off. He suffered from psychotic episodes. He died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the age of 37. So yeah, he took his own life. I don't remember why he cut his ear off. I'm sorry. I put this together years ago. I think it was over a girl. I could be wrong. I don't remember. But yeah, he cut his own ear off. A male praying mantis dies after mating with a female. The female will eat the male after breeding. Black widows also do this. However, I recently read an article I thought was very interesting where not all males get eaten. Some of them get away. Some of them kill the female. Some of them, while they're breeding, start eating the female. Rough species. I'm surprised they're still around with their breeding behavior. Mercury is the planet closest to the sun. The planets are named after the Roman mythological gods. The Romans basically just used the Greek gods but gave them different names. And later in this lesson we'll be discussing the Greek gods. And some people might argue with me on that. But they really did that. They took all the Greek mythology and they just changed the names. And they did add a lot, right? There's a lot more Roman mythology because they added their own stuff to it. But the foundations there were Greek. Okay, the oceans. The biggest ocean is the Pacific Ocean. The smallest is the Arctic Oceans. There are 4 oceans. The other 2 are the Atlantic and the Indian. And, I think people are changing that now. I read somewhere there's 5. I'd say no, there's 4. And there's 7 continents, and one of them is Australia, not Oceania. Oceania is just the area that Australia's in. The rest of that stuff, New Zealand and all those islands around, are not continents. Australia is the continent. Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel, which is in Vatican City, which is located in Rome. Michelangelo preferred to sculpt rather than paint, right? There's a famous statue of David there on the left, and there's the Sistine Chapel roof on the right. I quite like Michelangelo. I thought he was pretty, I liked his art, right? I thought it was better than Da Vinci, although Da Vinci's known for a lot more than just art. July was named after Julius Caesar, who brought about the fall of the Roman Republic and the rise of the Roman Empire. August is named after his successor, Octavian Augustus, right? So July is actually named after Julius Caesar. And not a lot of quotes in this one, but there's a couple quotes from Caesar there at the bottom. I came, I saw, I conquered. Maybe it is better to create than to learn. Creating is the essence of life. Another random image. Stupidity. That was funny. That's a water kettle. It's an electric water kettle made of plastic. Did someone, because there are other kettles made of metal that you could put on, your stovetop to heat the water. This person took a plastic electric water heater and put it on their stovetop, because that's pretty stupid. Okay, I have a section here on Greek mythology because a long time ago, one of my students asked me about it. I believe I actually did this when I was living in Guangzhou, but it was a Wuhan student who asked to talk about Greek mythology. All right, so here's our questions. Hercules is the Roman name for whom? Who was the king of the gods? Which Greek hero could only be killed if struck in the ankle? Who killed the Minotaur? Who was the goddess of love? Who was the goddess of wisdom? How many brothers did Zeus have? Who was Persephone? And what was the river Styx? As I said earlier, the Roman gods were just renamed Greek gods. Well, most of them anyway. Heracles was the name given by the Greeks to the guy. Hercules was his Roman name. Heracles was the strongest man in the world, and when he died, he ended up joining the gods on Mount Olympus. Of course, there's a lot more to Heracles than just that little bit I gave you. Interesting myth if you want to read up on him. Zeus was the king of the gods in Greek mythology. And what is mythology? Zeus overthrew his father. Zeus was also the god of the sky and thunder. The ancient Greeks believed that Zeus was angry when there was a thunderstorm. And basically, mythology is, one way to put it, mythology is, I should have had a whole slide for this. Mythology is what people used to believe as a religion, but no one believes it anymore, so we call it mythology. Dead religion. Achilles was the hero I was talking about earlier. Achilles could only be killed by being struck in the ankle. When he was a baby, he was dipped in water, making him immortal, except where a leaf stuck to his ankle. He was killed by Paris in the Trojan War. Again, a lot more to that. I recommend you read the Iliad if you want to learn more about the Trojan War. Of course, that's mostly fictional, we believe. Theseus was the ancient Greek hero who killed the Minotaur. The Minotaur was half man and half bull. The Minotaur lived in a labyrinth and was given human victims as a sacrifice. Theseus found his way out of the labyrinth using string. Another Greek mythological hero, Theseus. You can read more about him if you wish. I just gave you very little information about him. Aphrodite was the Greek goddess of love. Her Roman name was Venus. She was born out of the foam of the sea. Her son was Eros, more commonly known by his Roman name of Cupid. Aphrodite sided with the Trojans during the Trojan War, while most of the rest of the gods sided with the Greeks, which is why they won, I guess. Athena was the goddess of wisdom. She was born directly out of Zeus's head. She was also the goddess of weaving. She turned Arachne into the first spider, and the city of Athens was named after her. Much more there too, especially the little Arachne myth you could read about. I don't know. I've been reading Greek mythology since I was a child. I found it fascinating. Okay, Zeus's brothers. Zeus had two brothers. Poseidon was god of the sea. Hades was the god of the underworld. Poseidon's Roman name was Neptune. Hades' Roman name was Pluto. Zeus's Roman name was Jupiter. And I find Hades to be very fascinating, if you couldn't tell by the name of this channel. Persephone was Demeter's daughter. She was kidnapped by Hades and taken to the underworld. Demeter was a goddess of agriculture, and the loss of her daughter caused winter. When Persephone is with her mother, then it is summer. There's a whole other myth about that. You can read about Persephone and Hades. Interesting stuff, I think. The river Styx. When anyone died, they had to cross the river Styx. People would be buried with a gold coin in their mouths so that they could pay Chiron for passage across the river. Once they passed the river, they were in the underworld, or Hades' domain. That's the very simplistic part of it. It's a little more than that. And technically, it's not the river Styx they crossed. There's another river down there near the river Styx. But that's good enough for simplicity. Okay, random image. Look at the chart below and say the color, not the word. This is very difficult. I can do it, but I have to do it slowly. Give it a try. I'll pause for a couple seconds. Okay, was it easy? If you wanted to take longer, you could pause it yourself. I just gave you a few seconds. This is difficult because you have a conflict between your left brain and your right brain. Your right brain tries to say the color, but your left brain insists on reading the word. This is difficult for me. It's easy for me to breeze through it, reading the colors, but to actually tell you what color it is, that takes me a lot longer. I have to pause and concentrate to be able to say, like, the first one is green. Right? But if I were just to read it, I could go through it very quickly. Yellow, orange, blue, black, green, red, yellow, purple, red, orange, green, yellow. Very quickly I can read it. But saying the color for me takes a lot longer because I want to read it instead of saying the color. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, some extra random stuff. This is the first random stuff topic I did in Guangzhou. Most of the topics here were requested by students in Guangzhou, although I did say the mythology one was requested by a student in Wuhan who never got to hear it because I was gone by then. You have any questions? Please put them in the comments. Anything you want to discuss on the next time I do a random topic? I'll do it. Put them in the comments. It won't be the next one because I already have it. But a future one, I'd be happy to discuss something else. If you'd like, put it in the comments. Okay, some stuff I put here. The one on the right, you will not understand unless you listen to Iron Maiden. Basically, that's Steve Harris. Iron Maiden is his band. He wrote a song called Alexander the Great, but he doesn't play it live. Or at the time that was written, he hadn't. I've seen them in concert a few times. Never heard him play that one live. And some fun facts to share with your friends. Now, this is just some random thing I picked up online. I have no idea if all of these are true. All right. The elephant is the only animal with 4 knees. Blueberry juice boosts memory. When cats are happy or pleased, they squeeze their eyes shut. The African cicada fly spends 17 years sleeping, then wakes up for 2 weeks, mates, and then dies. More steel in the U.S. is used to make bottle caps than to manufacture automobile bodies or cars. Dalmatians are born without spots. In the U.S., Americans eat about 18 acres of pizza a day. It is impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. Horses can't vomit, and pigs can't look up in the sky. And real vanilla is used to make chocolate flavoring. No idea if some of these are true or not. Don't have a clue. Don't know. But yeah, there's some facts for you. If they're true, I don't know. You can look them up. I just threw that on there. Okay, guys, this will end 4B, or the whole random lesson 4, as it is. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Thank you so much, the 2 of you, or however many watch this. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.